even though I'm not in full-time ministry now, I am so thankful for the experience I got and for the training, for the community.
It was a huge step of faith that allowed me to kind of rely on the Lord in a way that just is so unique to that type of work and that type of environment that I'm not really forced to do, in my day-to-day life as an engineer. And so learning that dependence and reliance on the Lord was a really sweet opportunity.
Just the opportunity to get to stay in the spiritual greenhouse that is Crew at U of I, continue to be poured into by the staff and get to stay with students that I knew and just grow spiritually there. I think having those extra couple of years was really influential on my spiritual walk as an adult.
While interning with Crew, I got to be a part of proclaiming the gospel of Jesus Christ to people who do not know it. Nothing else was around me at that time to get in my way. All I could do is spend my time talking to people about Jesus, sharing the gospel, discipling men. And I'm so thankful that I got the opportunity to do that, to trust the Lord, to see what he's doing, to participate in God's work in men's lives. Man, that was such a joy.
The combination of very challenging but amazingly fun. I think we really we worked so hard in ministry, just spending so many hours meeting with students, but at the same time had so much fun with our team. I just remember scooting around the city with our teammates and just feeling wow, this is such an amazing experience.
I would say just my confidence in sharing the gospel grew so much. My confidence just in understanding and knowing biblical truth and applying that became very easy to just translate right into the workplace. Obviously, you're not knocking on doors and asking them, the questions and wanting to go through the booklet with them, but sharing the gospel became very natural with my coworkers, and I attribute a lot of that to the training that I got.
That deepened my interpersonal and team management skills. When working with Crew, we do a lot of work with people and a lot of work in teams and a lot of work with groups, and these are all soft skills that I actually did not have a ton of. You don't learn a lot if you're in engineering. You learn a lot about technical things. So getting to develop my soft skills has actually really helped me in my career right now as I'm managing people, as I'm talking with people. I work on teams all the time to accomplish projects, and it's really good to have a good teamwork mentality, understand leadership, understand how to get people to do what you want and make them feel encouraged and make them feel like you're behind you. I mean, these soft skills are very important, and that's something I'm really thankful I learned in Crew.
Getting a chance to use your gifts and to learn what your gifts are and to try things.
I'm really, really grateful for the staff team, and particularly the women and the women's Bible study we had. So this really ended up being a space of encouragement for me as well as discernment. It was a space that helped define or solidify my identity in Christ while also encouraging and discerning those giftings and passions that the Lord has created me with, which ultimately drew me back to the U.S. foster care system and all that.
I was able to have kind of a discipleship relationship with a team leader through a context that wasn't school. So I was kind of able to live my real life, be an adult outside of school, but still maintain this regular discipleship relationship, able to process things. And I think that just looking back on that time, I grew a ton, partly because I was able to process with somebody more spiritually mature than me and who was able to pour into me while I was working.
Being entrusted with really big tasks when you intern, I think you get to do a lot of things that you don't normally get to do in an entry-level job or a first-year grad student. You might oversee events that have hundreds of students at them, and you stay connected with your financial backers. You might have 100 of those or more. And to be able to say as you move on, these are some of the things that I know how to do. I can event plan. I've led this many people. I've taught these people to lead these type of events. It's just opportunities, even just from a secular standpoint, if you put them on a resume, that most 23-year-olds are not going to have done.
My husband and I jumped into leading a small group, a young married small group, a few months, maybe 6 to 9 months after joining our church. And I would say that the skills that I learned with Crew were just invaluable as we began walking alongside other young marrieds and discipling women and caring for them and inviting them in and pursuing them.
It was amazing to see fruit in ministry. People came to know Jesus, and I was a part of that. It's amazingly humbling and beautiful that God decided to use me in that process. And I still keep in touch with some of those students today.
I think too, just being in the community that I was in for 2 years, it made me realize what kind of community that I wanted to pursue. Again, I attribute a lot of that to what I experienced those 2 years after.
Typically, people that I've talked to have said things like, oh, I can't intern because I don't want to give up this great job opportunity. That those stem from us just not trusting our Creator. He's a sovereign God, and we can trust Him to provide what is necessary for us at all times. He can provide you a job now. He can provide you a job later. He did for me. We've seen the God be faithful again and again and again and again because He's a God who is faithful to His people.
I'm really glad that I had to re-support, and the lessons that you learn along the way that you see God's provision is, for me, was formative, and it's shaped the way that I steward my resources now. So I think it is a really valuable experience to go through, even though that's probably the part that most people are most fearful of.
I believe that there is not a better time in your life than where you are at right now to do missions. Currently, you are unattached to people, you're unattached to a job, a house, a family. Right now is a great opportunity you have to do ministry.
So I am so glad that I interned with Crew.
It's incredibly fun.
I'm so blessed that I got to work for Crew.
I wouldn't trade that year for anything.
I treasure those 2 years that I had.
I use things from interning all the time.
It's really important work, and not everyone who does want to do it has the opportunity to do it.
And I definitely hope you will consider it.